I sit there and I'm like, what the hell are you doing constantly? I think that has been something that's been thrown out a lot for the Eagles recently, and specifically around Nick Sirianni, right? And I think the conversation continues on. Everyone saw the videos of him going back and forth with the fans after his own fans, after they beat the Browns on Sunday in practice. And I don't know if we had that video pulled up, Zach, but he was playing Many Men by 50.
Yeah, I saw. I don't have that pulled up.
That's okay. It might be for the best for everybody. But one thing is, all this happens, and then Dan Orlovsky, who I think is still one of the best football analysts, that's why I like to reference him. He didn't hold back on how he feels the preparation has been for the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's play that.
The least prepared football team in the NFL. The least prepared. They've had 5 opening drives this season. They got 22 yards. So you mean to tell me an offense that has Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and one of the best offensive line in football and Saquon Barkley, they got 22 yards? You guys know this, in my opinion at least. In the NFL, how you finish games is really about players. How you start games is really about coaching.
You're scheming it up.
You're scheming it up.
The first 15 plays are scripted on how you're going to be able to have success versus the defense.
They're the only team who hasn't scored the first quarter point.
As a
down
defender,
23-0.
that's our biggest fear within the game, the first 15, because we know we're going to get schemed up and it's going to be something we haven't seen.
And so you're sitting there as a football team or as an organization and you see all the talent on offense. How can we not build a lead? How do we start every game slow?
So right there is essentially Dan Orlovsky saying that the Eagles, for all the talent that they have, what they're doing to start off games is really inexcusable. Now, we know there's professional athletes. You got to go out there and play, and there are things on the players, but you just heard, it seems like the first 15 minutes in their eyes is schemed up. That's your preparation and game plan. Zach, the Eagles, granted, I will say they haven't had A.J. Brown, but they have had some other of the big pieces there, and it's an extremely talented offensive line. I know you have some thoughts. I can already see it brewing.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this every time we talk about the Eagles. The Eagles dropped the ball this offseason. They should have fired Nick Sirianni. It's a clown show there right now. You talked about the Many Men after he gets into it with his own fans. You've seen time after time. When he wins, he's the best ever. When he loses, it's other people's faults. It's why are you guys putting me in a microscope? Why are we booing? We don't like booing. It's just over and over and over again. We've gotten to the point where the only time Nick Sirianni is in the news is because of some gimmick, because of some reaction he had, whether it's fighting with opposing fans, his own fans, getting into it with guys on the field. You know, it's just over and over, and the results aren't there to get away with it. That's the biggest thing, is it worked. He has this different style of coaching. And it worked. It worked the first year and a half. But the fact of the matter is it's not working anymore. It seems like he's lost half the locker room at least. It feels like there is a disconnect. They don't have faith in him as a coach. You see it on the sidelines. It's just over and over. It just seems like the best thing that Philadelphia could do is fire him. And it should have happened in the offseason. And if they, in my truest belief, if they want to save this season, they have to fire him after this game. Now.
And correct me if I'm wrong, they're playing the Giants this weekend.
Yeah, like if they lose to the Giants, Sirianni's got to go.
Well, and this is a game where, one, it's a revenge game for Saquon, and he's not going to say it. He was he said all the right things. You know, this rivalry is still going to be there before, or, you know, while I'm here and long after I'm gone. That game means something to Saquon going on here. So we're going to see what unfolds here. But what we do know is that Eagles offense, talent-wise, you could argue them being at the very top. When you look at their skill position and the offensive line that they have, yes, they lost Jason Kelce as their anchor at the center position, but you have almost every other piece that you would need to have success. Now it is, can you put that together and can you stack up wins? And if you can't, tell you what, team that's starting to figure it out here is the Washington Commanders. And that's the same, I said it last time, who would have thought in 2024, the most stable organization right now as far as the trajectory of where they were going was the Washington Commanders in the NFC East.
Yeah, Gosh, the NFC East is just every team, like you said, besides the Commanders, you could argue is just in a horrible spot. Whether it's the Eagles and you're sitting there, is the coach the right? Do you have leadership? Is this the right group? Then you go to Dallas, and that's just everything. That just has blown up in their face. Then you obviously have the Giants, Daniel Jones. You have Malik Neighbors with the concussion. It just feels like that they're just kind of waiting out this season. Like, they've got some talent on defense, but I don't think they really think they can win with Daniel Jones. So they're just kind of in a waited out period. The Commanders are the team to beat. I mean, it really does feel like we're heading into week 7, and it feels like the Commanders are kind of a firm hold on that first place in that division.
And I'll be honest too. Again, Baltimore for me, the Ravens, that's the squad for me. I am rooting for the Commanders. I want them to be good. I am in on Jaden Daniels. I loved him at LSU. I love how he handles himself. I'm a huge Scary Terry fan. I want to see them do well, not against the Ravens, but everything else, love to see them. And it's great for the region too. We got a lot of fans that are Washington fans, that are Oriole fans, a lot of Oriole fans that are Ravens fans. People helping people here.